I think the idea is right, and we've had that in our plans. A schedule of how many players can go to how many schools per day. He'll tell me, Stanley, you gave me 14 players, and you still want to take another 7, so we won't have enough for match days.
Is it possible to disclose what kind of partnership agreement that you guys have, since it's been going on since last year? And as YB Khalid said earlier, that whenever KL City needs help, UBB Amanah is around. So what kind of help does this entail? Thank you.
Do you want me to go?
You can go.
It's advertising, as you can see, for the last 2 seasons. They've been on our jersey as one of our main, besides DBKL. So they've been there consistently. When we won the Malaysia Cup, obviously that was us putting ourselves out there in a very, strong manner. But I think it was something that personally me and higher management and president felt that getting them again this year has been really something that stems that it's a long term, because usually in Malaysian football what we've always seen short term, a year and then next year another name change. So if you see, we've had consistency in our jerseys where we've had UBB for 2 years now, and we've also had DBKL for 2 years on our main jersey. So it's advertising. That's what they've come with us.
What else KL City will do to attract more corporate sectors to be part of the team after this?
Keep winning. Well, I think no running away from being consistent on the field. I think that's the most important thing. I think our attention, people's appetite towards us has always been what we've done the last 3 years. I think management and I has always repeated, as long as we try to get the results right, then it's for us at senior management to try and find a way to keep the club sustainable. So I think that's number 1. But number 2, I think with that we hope that we'll attract more fans. You can't run away when you start to grow your fan base. I think in a recent interview I said, I'm looking at the approach of KL, my second team. It seems like 3 years of probably the greatest era in KL's football. The numbers have grown, but I think most importantly we need to look at alternative of trying to grow our fan base. So maybe KL my second home, because everyone who lives around the country finds KL as their financial hub. Some family members are here. They can't go back to their home teams every weekend at Terengganu, Kelantan born, or so they can always come to a football match where KL my second team. So maybe let's try. Easier said than done, but we have to find alternative ways.
KL is creating a new legacy under Stanley and also YB Khalid. So do you feel you entering the market at the right time, and also it can help you to build your brand?
Actually, KL has always been great. So what Stanley and YB Khalid has been doing is trying to make it greater. I was a fan of KL since I was young. So now, since we have the opportunity, UBB Amanah would like to contribute something for the development of the football, especially Kuala Lumpur. That's all, yeah.
KL City brand exposure. We can see that KL City quite struggle to attract fans, especially when match day. And what's KL City plan to have a very strong in terms start from the grassroots, because maybe you can make a campaign, bring the players to school, because I'm a teacher and also involved in the grassroots football. When I'm asking a kid, they are KL citizen, what's your favorite team? From 10, only 2 support KL. The others, they said the other teams. So what's your plan?
Yeah, I think firstly, when you look at any club who has struggled for 30 plus years, you've got to first make the club some sort of level that someone can support. So that's been happening now for 3 years. But with our current limitations, I think if I ask Boyan a schedule of how many players can go to how many schools per day, he'll tell me, Stanley, you gave me 14 players and you still want to take another 7, so we won't have enough for match days, because Malaysian League schedule is quite demanding. So I think if we can try and schedule out, firstly get a better depth of a team, and then try and get a schedule out where we can work with certain programs, but it needs to be across the board, where you need the under 23s, you need the under 20s, Obviously, everyone wants to see the first team players, our superstars here. But if you look at their schedule, like last year, an example where we were in the AFC, there's no way we would have gotten a day to go out to do any kind of programs. So the idea is great, but I think we need to find a level of balance on the execution, because we don't have that many of players. Yes, we love to bring the whole team, but if you look at their schedule, it's actually quite demanding. And as you know, currently we get 3-4 players in the national team as well. We've got players who get called up from other national teams as well during FIFA match days. That is the only time actually a football club actually has time, the 7 FIFA match days that we have throughout a year. So if you look at that, it would be quite demanding. So these are the things, the challenges we have. But I think the idea is right, and we've had that in our plans. Like we started the season when we did the Menteri Cup. We reached out to every agency possible we could. We gave a RM1 ticket. We wanted everyone to come together. I think in KL's record, I will ask Encik Othman, in a friendly game, I don't think there's ever been 12,000 people at a KL friendly game. That was just trying to reach out. But to consistently reach out, I think we'll need to work really much harder. But the ideas are great. It's just that the challenges of the schedule. But that is what we'll try to aim to do as well. Thanks. Well, again, everyone knows who's the favourites. No difference in 2021. No one looked at us. We knew internally this group, this bunch of players, they've been outstanding. I think that's been well documented out there. We're a small club, but absolutely big heart. So there's no difference, even though the goalposts have been shifted, that we are playing almost like in an away ground. And I think that is the challenge we have. But I think the boys have accepted that well. What you'll see out of this team is always that the management has never go and tell the players, look, you must win, or never been. Basically our DNA of the club is we will compete and we'll leave everything on the pitch. And that's what you're going to get out of the coach. You're going to get out of every single player in this dressing room. You will see a performance. Win or lose, you ask the football gods. But you will see the best out of this team.